arguably one of the most important parts of this section on leadership. How do you apply your knowledge to the recruitment process? So how do you show an employer that you have the leadership potential that they're looking for? And what techniques might an employer use to try and assess your leadership potential? The first thing I would say is the importance of self-awareness. So know yourself. If you aren't aware of your skills, then it's going to be very hard for you to identify those areas that need to be developed. Also, if you don't know what you're good at, then it's going to be very hard to tell an employer what you're good at. As well as what we will look at within this section, there's a whole other section that's dedicated to self-awareness, and I would encourage you to work through that as well. In order to demonstrate your leadership potential to an employer, you're going to need an awareness of the leadership skills that you have demonstrated to date. You can use the Showing My Leadership Potential worksheet that's found in the resources section to help you document and work through this process. Think back to the key skills of an effective leader. We looked at these in our previous video, Key Skills for Effective Leadership. The skills we highlighted there were strategic thinking, planning and delivery, people management, change management, communication, persuasion and influence. And write these down. These are all aspects of leadership that you can talk about in order to demonstrate your leadership potential to an employer. Next, I want you to think through your experiences. What activities have you been involved in that could demonstrate aspects of leadership potential? Maybe you have arranged a charity event. Maybe you've been part of a club or society. Maybe you've had a leadership role within that club or society. Think about your university course. What roles and responsibilities did you have within that? Did you lead in a group? Did you drive forward a project? So take time and think through all of your experiences and write down any that you feel could demonstrate leadership potential, and remember those key skills that we discussed within leadership. Next, you'll need to build on your examples. So it isn't enough to simply list activities that you've been involved in. You need to be prepared to discuss the specifics with the employer. To help you do this, you can apply the STAR technique. So STAR stands for situation, task, action and result. And you'll find information about the STAR technique, what it is and how you can use it within the resources section. By applying it to your responses, it allows you to give some structure, and it allows you to have the confidence that you know that you're given the correct detail to your answers. Perhaps by this stage you're realising that your examples are quite scarce. Maybe you don't have an awful lot of experience to draw on in order to demonstrate your leadership potential to an employer. All of us need to keep stretching our leadership skills. But if you know that you really don't have much experience, then it's going to be important to you to take opportunities in order to put those skills into practice. I would encourage you to talk this through with your employability advisor, and together you can identify some steps that you can take. What we have looked at in terms of how you would demonstrate your leadership potential to an employer, it probably sits best within competency-based questions that you may find on application forms or in a competency-based interview. There are other techniques that an employer may use to assess your leadership potential. These include games-based learning, so you may come across this particularly in the early stages of the recruitment process, where you would complete some online games activities. It may be at an assessment centre, so where you would have gone to an assessment centre, or now perhaps you'll virtually go to an assessment centre, and you would take part in different activities, and throughout that you would be observed and assessed. It could be through a strengths-based interview, wherein you will be asked about what you enjoy, what are you good at. Do you like working on the big picture, or do you enjoy working out the finer details? Or it could be in scenario-based learning. So you could be given different scenarios and you'd be asked to tell them how you would respond. We've included some more information about the different techniques that employers may use throughout the recruitment process, and you'll find that within the resources section.